mental health, anxiety, depression, all of that stuff that everyone deals with, literally everyone deals with, is probably one of the biggest problems in society, yet it's almost never talked about by the big politicians and celebrities and influencers. It's never freaking talked about. Occasionally you'll come across somebody, who mentions something about it, but they don't really do it very often because it really makes them uncomfortable. And at least in my opinion, I think people don't like talking about mental health because people are too embarrassed. People don't want to say, hey, I'm struggling with this. They're afraid of judgment. They're afraid of people not liking them after they talk about their mental health. People are afraid to say what they feel or admit to being wrong or admit that their situation is not ideal. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but in this video, basically, I made a list of things that I wanted to talk about, just like I always do. I know this setup is horribly bad. The camera is blurry. I'm literally using the front-facing camera on my iPhone, and I know it looks blurry as hell. But yeah, so that was my first topic, was that mental health is not talked about enough. But I wanted to point out something else, and that's the fact that recently, as you guys know, or if you're a subscriber, which you're probably not since I only have 35 of them, but if you are a subscriber, you know that I deal with a lot of mental health issues that I talk about on this channel. I don't talk about it on my main channel, and I didn't talk about it for years because I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid of what people might think about me and my struggles in life and things like that. But the more I started looking on social media and seeing how many other people, watching relatable content, how many other people are actually depressed, it's a much bigger problem in society than I first thought. Most people are actually struggling with something or another. I don't care how good their content looks on social media or how happy they seem, they are not actually happy. And most influencers aren't. I'd say at least 75% of them just aren't that happy. They genuinely aren't. And that's why on my TikTok and on my YouTube channel right here, I try to make content that's empowering, that's helping people with their mental health and anxiety. But at the same time, I also talk about, and I also make posts and stuff talking about what it's like to be at rock bottom, because I don't feel like it's right that someone who struggles with mental health, kind of like I do, only talk about positivity, because I'm not always in a positive mood, and that's not something I see other influencers or content creators do. Because, something, I don't know if I elaborated on this or not. I'm not going off a script or anything like I typically am. I'm just talking. And so, I scroll on, Snapchat spotlights. I know that's weird. I know you'll call me corny, but that's kind of the point of this is, I'm not afraid of your opinion. I really don't care. I scroll on Snapchat spotlights and I scroll on TikTok, search up mental health TikToks, relatable content, and I just dwell on these negatives, and that helps to keep me depressed. I've mentioned that before on this channel. I've mentioned how dwelling in the negative literally makes your mental health worse, but I just have this addiction. I don't know if that's what you want to call it or not, but I just kind of dwell in it, and nobody talks about what that's like. Literally nobody. Yet there are thousands of millions of people that make these mental health posts talking about how they want to do something to themselves or OD or something of the sorts. And there's literally thousands of reposts, thousands of likes, and the comment sections are filled with this is real, silent repost, or I relate, or something of the sorts, because there are millions of people, grown men, grown women, young children, teenagers, even some old people that seriously struggle with depression, whether that's about a breakup, whether that's about family issues, whether that's about a passing of an important family member. No matter what it is, everybody is struggling. Everybody, pretty much. 80% of people are actually struggling, whether they choose to admit it on camera or not. Even these big politicians, yes, money helps. They struggle too, but they won't talk about it because they're too embarrassed to talk about it. They're afraid of judgment. And see, like I mentioned, I made one of those relatable TikTok videos or, videos to post here on Snapchat or whatever, talking about, I don't remember what it said, but it was kind of like a sad post type of thing. I'll put it right here, like that way you can see what it is. I don't remember what it is. But yeah, I received a comment and it was somebody saying like, "Oh, you're just attention seeking. Stop attention seeking. Why are you attention seeking?" And that's why people don't talk about mental health. That is why they don't, because everybody thinks, oh, they're attention seeking. And I hearted the comment because, I kind of felt like it's a valid point, right? I don't hate the people who make these comments. I'm not harassing and I'm not targeting the people who make these comments, but it kind of pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie. I don't normally say that, but it really pisses me off when people make these comments about how, like, when people make a post on social media about how they're struggling and everybody's like,
Oh, they're attention seeking. They're a pick me girl. They're a pick me guy. They're a freaking, they're just begging for sympathy or something when
most of the time that's not the case. A lot of times it is the case, but sometimes it's not. And to anybody who's actually struggled with mental health and struggled with depression, they understand what I'm saying here. But yeah, aside from that, I'm just getting to the point where I feel like putting things out there. I feel like putting my depression, putting my my issues in my life, obviously not the most personal issues, but a lot of it just out here on the table, out here for the world to see, because I don't want people to have the misconception that just because I am happy on my main channel doesn't mean that my life is perfect. Like, I'm not depressed. I've come a long way. I was actually reading the other day, like, some old text messages from a couple years ago between me and my ex that actually broke my heart, and I started to realize, David, you have come so freaking far. You have come so far. It's unreal. So I'm not saying I'm depressed right now, but I'm saying that I'm not always as happy as I portray, that I am on my main channel. And that's what so many other content creators do, because they're afraid of judgment. I'm telling you, they're afraid of judgment. They don't want, it's not just like, oh, I don't want my personal life on there. It's partially that, but they don't want to be called an attention seeker. They don't want to be vulnerable with their fans, no matter how real of a content creator they actually are. Most of them are not that way. And I don't normally talk about this, because my main channel, if you don't know, if for some reason you don't know, my main channel is basically about me taking shots at content creators. That's basically what I do. I find insane storylines and insane situations, and I basically make fun of it and mock them and, talk crap about them in a way. But I want you to just be nice, spread positivity. I've been trying to do that a little more. I've been trying to actually be nice to people in public, because I've just become aware of how some people, including my fans, including the people who watch my content, they actually struggle a lot more than they say, and it kind of breaks my heart. It kind of helped me come to the realization of how bad, like, depression and mental health actually is. But yeah, with everything I've said so far, I guess I'm gonna wrap up this video here. So if you enjoyed this video, please, I don't know, slap or drop or punch or whatever you want to do, hit the like button, I don't know. But yeah, I hope this video helps someone. Be nice, be kind, don't get stuck in depression, don't dwell on negative content, and remember, not everything you see on social media is actually real. So yeah, peace out, y'all.